and welcome to the More to Life podcast. I am your host, Elle Mace, and today it is just me, myself, and I. I am bringing to you a short episode all about shadow work. So what is shadow work? I remember when I first started hearing about this, I was like, oh, interesting. And now it's getting more and more popular. So what actually is it? So shadow work is understanding the shadow. It's that the shadow represents the parts of ourselves that we kind of repress, deny, or that we feel are or deem unacceptable. These aspects can include like our fears, our insecurities, also like unacknowledged desires as well, which is a really interesting one, or traits that we disown. Now, we may disown these from our own thoughts and beliefs, or we may have been taught to kind of like disown these traits. So a lot of it is kind of unconscious patterns that are happening behind the scenes without us even really knowing it or understanding it. And so it involves delving into our subconscious, which I'll go on to like, how do we do that? But you need to try and recognize and acknowledge these hidden aspects. So if you can try and like bring them to light, the parts of ourselves that influence our thoughts, our behaviors, and our relationships without our conscious awareness. Is that kind of resonating with you all? So by facing and accepting these aspects, we can integrate them into our conscious awareness. So we're kind of bringing our unconscious into our conscious awareness. And this process really allows us to be able to heal, to find acceptance, to have self-compassion and personal growth when they're kind of living, it's or they or it or whatever it is those feelings are living behind the scenes. That is when they kind of sit within your nervous system, manifesting away and showing up in all kinds of, well, can be weird and wacky ways. You know, some of your behaviors, you might not understand why you do that. But it's all because of some sort of unconscious belief, or you know, whatever it is, but in the unconscious. So shadow work is you being able to draw that out and have that kind of understanding of why it's going on. So why should people do shadow work? It sounds a bit scary. It's like, well, why would you want to bring out all the skeletons in the closet? But the benefits are huge. So there's self-awareness and growth. So shadow work really fosters a deeper understanding of yourself. You will be able to understand yourself so much better. Usually you'll be able to turn that into a positive. There may be things that you don't like that you uncover, but that is still gaining a better understanding of yourself and then trying to figure out, well, where may this have come from? And the more that you explore your shadow, you gain insights into your motivations, your reactions, the patterns, which all of this, that if you want to try and change, will lead to personal growth. And the emotional healing is huge. So emotional part of it, kind of, it allows you to confront past wounds and traumas, which is a big one, real big one, which that will then lead on to emotional healing as well. And by acknowledging and accepting these experiences, you can release them or choose to hold on to them. You can think, okay, that doesn't serve me anymore, goodbye. Or actually, that does serve me in some way. I'm going to hold on to this. It will absolutely improve your relationships. Hands down, it really, really will. It's because unresolved aspects of the shadow can affect relationships. They'll affect any of your relationships. It could be a partner, it could be friends, it can be family, it can be working relationships. It will crop up in any form, in anywhere. So if you can try and work with the hidden aspects, you'll develop a healthier connection, a more authentic connection, and a more open connection with greater empathy towards others and yourself. When you kind of work through shadow work, what I certainly found, like this worked for me and I see it working in my clients as well, is you will find yourself kind of like reducing your self-sabotage. So we all self-sabotage, hopefully as minimal as possible for most people, but for some people a lot. And unaddressed shadow work, the aspect can lead to self-sabotaging behaviors. Shadow work, it helps identify and manage these tendencies, leading you to be more constructive with your actions and constructive with your thoughts as well. So that kind of, hold on a minute, is this part of me, or is this part of, my shadow, my inner child, my subconscious? Actually, maybe I don't need to stop doing this or start doing this, or that's whole part of that self-sabotage. So it's like, well, where do you begin? Oh, and also what I forgot is like authenticity. So you are your environment, your experiences, no matter how kind of like ugly they can be. And so the more shadow work you do, the more you kind of embrace you, and you can live your life more authentically by accepting all the parts of yourself, and you can live in alignment with your true values and desires. So yeah, back to like how do you begin shadow work? And that's one, isn't it? Oh, well, do I just take myself through it? Do I need to see a therapist? You can do either, but you can definitely start to just have like some self-reflection. Start by reflecting on your emotions, your triggers, and your reoccurring patterns in your life. You can even start to note these down. So journaling can be really helpful. So at the end of the day, what was my kind of emotions, say my triggers and my patterns, etc.? Where does it keep coming up and up and up? This can be such a good tool for self-reflection. And then, like I said, you can talk to therapists, you can seek guidance, you can reach out to experts in this field, and they will be able to take you through a more of like a guided shadow work experience. So you can still do it on your own, but you can also get that professional help as well. And even things like mindfulness and meditation, getting that self-awareness, tuning into your thoughts and your feeling, practicing mindfulness and meditation, it can aid the exploring part of the subconscious and becoming more aware of your inner self, your inner child, what is going on inward, because we all live such busy lives where we go running around, charging from A to B, whatever it is, work, friends, children, etc. We don't allow ourselves to feel our feelings. And also, ones we don't want to feel, we do a really good job of suppressing, the kind of the ugly part as such, the trauma work. Also, just by having compassion and acceptance. So let's say you have a behavior and you don't like it, instead of kind of like shooting yourself down and getting frustrated with yourself, just being like, okay, I accept that I just had that reaction. I am going to find compassion for myself in that, because it could be something to do that is so deep rooted, or something back to our subconscious. So really stop, you need to try and be your own best friend. Try and like, okay, well, what is that a sign for? What could that be connected to? But the acceptance and the compassion is so crucial for the integration of healing yourself. And then also like take it gradually. Like this isn't like a right, that's it, shadow work, off I go, give me an hour and I'll come back. Or it's certainly not going to take a few kind of like days. Shadow work is going over possibly like years and years of your life. So it's kind of like an ongoing journey. I actually, without realizing it, I'm continually doing shadow work. At first, I was doing it consciously, and I was kind of like putting myself into it and really working hard at it. But actually now I just take, I just sort of like have a think over what I've been doing with myself and what I've been thinking about. And actually I've been doing the shadow work as I go. So I really hope that is some kind of insight for you. And the reason I've done this podcast is because so many people have said to me, what is shadow work? How do I do it? Do I need a professional to take me through it, etc.? So hopefully that gives you a bit of insight, and it's definitely worth exploring, looking into. I know for myself, it's been so beneficial, and any shadow work that my clients have done has also been really beneficial. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you all next time on our next podcast episode.